Hello, good evening, and welcome to Spotlight on MX24 television. We're still in the month of love, and today we're exploring locally processed cocoa products. We're speaking with a company called Ohini Cocoa. The owner of this company is called Nana Eduna II, and he's here with me. He's going to tell us all we need to know about cocoa, adding value to the product and making it marketable locally. You can see an array of products that his company makes. Welcome to Spotlight, Nana.
Thank you very much, Ms. Nwan, and good evening to your viewers and listeners. I think you guys are on the internet, so
yes,
you can be heard, you can be seen
everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Everywhere.
Good evening,
and
thank
very
you.
youthful, so we have a lot of youthful people tuned in who
Okay.
get interested in cocoa.
Okay.
Now, you know, I heard somewhere that you used to be in the medical field.
I still am.
Really?
I still am.
So how did you get into farming?
Okay, I'm a traditional chief.
Okay.
So incidentally, the cocoa is a family heritage thing. Our farms are just over 100 years. In fact, the particular one that a lot of this comes from, when you look carefully at our branding, you see something called Orem. What do they call it? Orem 1922.
Okay.
So
that's how long you've had the farm?
Yeah. Longer.
Wow.
Yeah. So Orem 1922. So we're actually 100 years this year. Okay, so just to go further.
100 years.
Yeah, just to go into your question a lot more. So I'm a traditional chief, I'm a Chamini of a Krapim traditional area, and installed in the year 2000, so 22
wow,
years
you've been
now.
A chief for a long time.
22 years now.
100 years of cocoa, 22 years of royalty.
And so, and a medical doctor, from a psychiatrist, and with a pharmaceutical industry background. Now, what brought me to where I am with respect to cocoa was I used to work for Pfizer Pharmaceuticals. For those who, and again, we're talking about a month of love or a period of love. So some of us did some of the initial medical marketing work on a product called Viagra, which is sildenafil citrate.
Okay.
So this was in early 2000s.
Interesting history.
Yeah, and now when you start to understand the chemistry or the pharmacy behind the product like Viagra. Viagra
so
was.
You still practice?
Yes, I do.
Wow.
I still practice. Yes, I still practice.
And how does all this fit in?
All this fits into my schedule in the sense that this should actually become the main thing, because this is actually interesting, exciting. And the reason why I'm into cocoa is we need to start promoting the real health benefits of cocoa beyond chocolate.
So when you say the real health benefits of cocoa, what
yes,
are they?
The real benefits, cocoa is, the primary, or actually one of the main things in cocoa is the polyphenols.
Okay.
And polyphenols are what we call antioxidants.
Okay.
So a lot of the foundation behind a lot of illnesses, whether it's hypertension, whether it's diabetes, whether it is cancer, whether it is asthma, whatever, is because the body is attacked by what we call free radicals, which basically, let's not get too technical, but they kind of destroy the baseline of the body tissue. And cocoa is a natural product that has the highest concentration of polyphenols, and polyphenols are antioxidants or free radicals, which then scavenge and repair these body tissues. Okay.
So technically we should be drinking cocoa.
You should be eating cocoa, drinking cocoa, using cocoa for our skin, whatever. And that's what basically they do, where it comes from in South and Central America, where it originates from.
Right.
So cocoa is such a healthy product. And so my passion and interest, because of my medical and pharmaceutical background and the fact that historically we have these farms, is actually to explore the health benefits of cocoa to create jobs, to process locally, and to make some money.
At what point during your medical career, psychiatry career, did you wake up and say, I am going into cocoa?
It was not.
It's not something you started from a long time
No.
ago.
Okay. Historically, I was made chief in 2000. Incidentally, I joined Pfizer in 2000.
Okay.
And worked for them for about 3 years. Thereafter, when I came down, there was at the time President Kufuor's government had started this cocoa rehabilitation project.
Okay.
So we started rehabilitating the farms from I think 2003, 2004, and
Which
then
included your family's farms.
Yes. So we started doing the cocoa rehabilitation. We went on till about the year 2010, and then we realized that we had enough volume of cocoa, especially from 2010 to 2015. Okay, but just the income coming from what we had invested in this didn't make sense. So I said, no, there must be something else behind this, that, you know. So somewhere in 2016, 2017, we decided we wanted to add value to. Now, this was where I started reading a lot more, and I discovered about the health benefits of cocoa. Now, there's a story about and it's actually on, it's a TEDx on YouTube. There's a story about when you type in the Kuna Indians. The Kuna Indians are a group of people in Panama area in South America, and they did an experiment where the Kuna Indians in the Kuna area, they compared blood pressure measurements, etc., and them with the Kuna Indians who had moved to Panama City, and they found out that the blood pressure and the lifestyle, etc., and the Kuna Indians in the original Kuna area were much healthier than those that had moved to Panama City. What was the difference? It was the fact that those who originally came from the Kuna area, they took up at least 6 or 7 cups of pure cocoa a day. So then people started asking questions about, and their blood pressure, their weight, etc.
You take cocoa every day?
I take cocoa more than every day.
Wow.
More than every. I think that in addition to just taking cocoa, when you go to the farm, the activities on the farm actually make it even more exciting. But yes, I do take cocoa fairly regularly. Incidentally, I have hypertension myself, but since I started using cocoa actively, I mean the amount of medication I need, etc., my weight, etc., has gone down significantly. Wow. So it makes a big difference.
There's an important question I want to ask you. History books in Ghana say Tete Kwashi brought cocoa to Ghana, but there's always a whole lot of debate out there. As someone who's in the cocoa industry, well, who do you think brought cocoa to Ghana?
To the Gold Coast. Okay. To the Gold Coast. Okay. Yes. So let's go back into a little bit of history. Okay. And again, it's actually very clearly on the Presbyterian or the Basel Missionaries website, Presbyterian Church of Ghana's website. All the information is there. 1815 was cocoa or cacao was brought in by the Dutch missionaries. 1815. It didn't do too well because they grew it around the coast, so it didn't do too well. Around the 1843, the Basel missionaries successfully grew cocoa in Ekropong Ekwapim, which is okay. And the reason why they were successful, the Basel missionaries came in 1828.
Ekwapim,
again,
which is your area.
Yes. The Basel missionaries came in 1828. Which was again Presbyterian Training College. That's the so they came PTC in Ekropong. Now at the time, Nana Addo Dankwa the first. Incidentally, our current president is named after him. Nana Addo Dankwa the first was Okuapehene at the time.
I see.
Yes, And so he said, no, look, the only way would allow you guys to settle and stay here was if you could show us somebody, our skin color, a black person who could read the Bible, who could interpret, etc. Incidentally, of course, the Presbyterian Church or the Basil missionaries were the first Christian missionary that came into the Gold Coast at that time. So they said, okay, we'll go back to Jamaica, where the Basil missionaries had the Moravian Church of Jamaica, who had black catechists, etc. So we went and bring some of them to show our potential landlord that we wanted this. These are people who can interpret the Bible. So there are quite a number of popular.
So they could accept them.
Yes. Okay. So there are quite a number of popular black Moravian Jamaicans who came from the West Indies. And when you come to Coco, the family names, I think Selicam and a few other names, they are all in the Presbyterian. Yeah. Okay. So when he came, he said, okay, we accept these people because they're just like us. Now, when they came, of course, the environment there is a lot more conducive for the growth of cocoa. So they brought cocoa.
So this was all to be just so they could be able to grow cocoa?
No, this was all just so they could be able to spread Christianity, but Christianity is a business. So they came with very clear intentions about spreading
Christianity, but with the business of cocoa and
exactly. Now, where Tete Kwashi comes in is that Tete Kwashi was a blacksmith, employed by the Basil missionaries. Okay. So he was sent, and they called them, in Ghana they call them the Gumbo boys or something. He was sent to Fernando Po, and the Basil missionaries had a cocoa setup over there. Now again, this is where the history of slavery gets very interesting, because when the slave trade was ending, the Portuguese, who were really the original and who had made a fair bit of money from the slave trade and were growing cocoa in plantation farm, etc. in Brazil, a lot of them ran away because they were being stopped by the British, etc. from the slave trade. So they ran to Guinea-Bissau, Fernando Po, those areas, and now it's called Bioko. So they ran there to start planting cocoa there. So the history of that area in the cocoa that was grown there, they were actually then sending people from here to go and learn how to grow the cocoa from there, so they could spread So that's where the Tete Kwashi story comes in, that he then went and then he's associated with
bringing some cocoa. Now, you say they had to take some people there to go and learn.
Yes.
So I kept wondering, did you have to learn to be able to start this entire business, because you make a lot of products?
I think that we have to learn to be able to do anything. The exciting thing again is that when you go on to the Cocoa Research Institute of Ghana website, Craig's website, all these products are there. So there is already data and research, but there's not a lot of commercial development of these products. So the information is already there. Exactly. So you just have to look for it. And incidentally, again, a lot of people don't know that the Cocoa Research Institute of Ghana is actually originally under the CSIR.
I see.
Yes, it's actually originally under the Center for Scientific and Industrial Research, like the way the Industrial Research Institute or the Food Research Institute, etc. So, and the the palm tree industry is also all under the CSIR. So, ideally, we should be having access to these research, etc. So the industry can then be built around that to develop and grow jobs, etc. So unfortunately,
was there support from the Cocoa Research?
No, there was no support from the Cocoa Research. Unfortunately, Cocoa Research's focus has shifted from developing new products, etc., to developing resistant variants, testing fertilizer, and doing deals, unfortunately. So we've lost our way somehow. I mean, Cocoa Research Institute ideally should be the place where you go and pick information like this.
So for the product range, you had at least some help with because there's research that's out
there.
Yes, that you were able to tap into. It was readily available information.
Yes, there's readily available information. Right. I mean, there's some of it also that we kind of developed ourselves, but a number of the stuff is actually available on the Cocoa Research.
Let me talk about the farms.
Okay.
You said there were some farms. Which part of the country?
In the eastern region, we are in Accra at the moment, but it's about an hour and 15 minutes away from here, more closer to Asamankesi. Then there's another farm also in the Suhum Mangwasi area. Yeah, so those are the two main ones.
And I read somewhere the farms belong to the Echiamehene.
Yes, so that would be my family. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, okay. I'm the Echiamehene at the moment. So yeah.
Where do you make all these products?
A combination of two things. First and foremost, the most important factory in this our enterprise is the farm.
Okay.
So this starts from looking after the cocoa very well on the farm, so growing it well, the fermentation and the drying process, etc. The selection of the selection of the beans, etc. Our choice. So that's where it starts from. These things are fairly an important essence of our business strategy. We stay as close to the natural origin of the product as possible. Okay. So we start the crushing and the separating process at the farm in Asamankese, and then a number of the products like our crunch, which is our flagship Cocoa Crunch, or we call it a natural cocoa bar.
Flavors,
yeah, right. So this will be the ginger flavor extra. It's really quite simple in terms of a mix of a little bit of sugar to bind the cocoa nibs, some flavoring.
And then there's the nibs.
Yeah, okay, so the nibs are the baseline product. So the nibs are really what we call cocoa nibbles. They are the cocoa beans that are crushed, and then we take the outer husk off. So that's the husk tea, which is what you are having as a tea. Again, very important, loaded with all the polyphenols, etc. Some men, and I come back to my story about Viagra, some men really like this because, it opens the pores of the blood vessels. Now, erection is really blood rushing into your penis. That's what it is. As simple as that. Now, also remember that, I shouldn't say remember that, for the information of the general public, Viagra is a failed cardiovascular drug. So Viagra, the original use for Viagra was to lower blood pressure.
I see.
Then they discovered that it was actually giving erections.
Oh, so
as a side
the
effect.
Focus
Exactly.
to that
Exactly.
Wanted it.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, in the same way, or very similar way, cocoa in its natural form, and its natural form being as close to as possible, not necessarily the processed one, which is what we are used to, does give you very, very good blood flow. Yes, in terms of into various areas. So yes, so back to the product. So this is then our baseline product, our nibs, and then our husk tea, and then we use our nibs to make what we call our crunch or our natural cocoa bar,
which can make wine.
Yeah, well, yes, this is the wine is in collaboration with the Volta Winery in Ho, that my dear Harrison Ajima. So we have a collaboration with him where we then market the wine. And the wine, we have a red one and a white one. Red one is flavored with hibiscus or bisap. So that's
So then you make it into different
flavors.
we
make it into different flavors. Yes.
So. And your workforce, where do you find them? I see your COO is a woman.
Yes,
What's her name?
Her name currently Madame Pearl Ajebedu.
Okay.
Yes, her CEO is. Yeah.
How do you find people to work with?
It's not easy, but we advertise.
Do you look out for specific skills?
Yes, we do look out for specific skills. I mean, she with a business, a bit of a business background, push things. But of course, then there's along the chain we have some very interesting recent hires as well. There's a young lady who almost got a first class, who's responsible for our product development and packaging.
How young? I mean, our audience is listening.
She's 23, 24.
And she works in product development.
Yeah, she's a food science engineer.
Okay.
So, I mean, just recently out of Legon, she's doing a national service with us. And so she's made, I mean, in terms of the packaging, putting this packaging together, especially our crunch and some of our newer stuff that's going to come out with our tea, etc. She's the one who's been really instrumental behind getting it to the quality and the finish that we are currently. Yeah.
So let's look at the policy side of it. Have there been any specific policies that have made it easier for you to do business?
No, on the contrary, more difficult. Yeah. Okay, and it's very simple again. Historically, cocoa has been an export earner for the Gold Coast.
Okay.
And then Ghana. Okay. Now, a lot of the history behind that was very much influenced by the British government or the colonial government at the time. And incidentally,
we had time to change it.
You know, we've had time to change it, and as the story evolves, we'll understand. We've had time to change it, but the unfortunate reality is that we've not really understood the game in terms of we're only now getting to understand it a little bit better, but the horse has already bolted anyway. Okay, so to simplify it, from the initial exports, first export I think was 1891, it was 36 kilos. By 1911 thereabouts, we were already doing I think about 300,000 metric tons. So you see the astronomical increase in the now exactly. Now that was a lot was targeted to go to the UK and Europe. And who was the biggest beneficiary? Cadbury's. Now, when you look historically also at the history of the development of the chocolate industry, you realize that a lot of the developments around that time, the conching machine, the pressing of cocoa butter, the discovery of adding milk to make milk chocolate, etc., and the industrial whatever, was happening in Europe, in the Netherlands, in the UK, etc. So they needed the raw material from us or from elsewhere to be going there. Now, in terms of value addition, and in terms of the choice of growth or export, for example, my family, I mean, when you go to Akropong and to all the big Akan towns in Ghana in particular, Koforidua, Kumasi, etc., a lot of the big old houses, compound houses and those things were built from cocoa money. I mean, my main family house, the wood and stuff that was built, lovely story building, was built in 1936. And when you see the enormity of the structure, and you know these people had serious money, so all of that was really from cocoa wealth. Yeah. But we were happy just exporting. Okay. Now, incidentally, there are a couple of things which happened, especially in the 1929, 1930s. Do you know there was a cocoa boycott in Ghana where the farmers actually burnt the cocoa rather than sell it? They actually burnt the cocoa because the price that was being offered was not, was suddenly they wanted to see how they could control the price.
But when you look at then and now, I mean, now we have, what's the producer price is 660 cedis per bag. Is that?
I think that I will just turn it around and say that at the time, the percentage that the farmer earned from the value chain was around 36%.
Okay.
Now it is 6%.
Okay, so it's about the percentage the farmer is earning.
Exactly.
Of the price
exactly.
Of the bag.
Okay, so at the time,
so there was
the farmer took
exactly
at the time, right up to
so Nkrumah's time. So the price was lower, the farmer was earning 36%.
The price wasn't lower.
Okay,
I mean
price
the
per
currency,
bag,
yeah, the currency
but
was
the
much
value,
stronger. Yes,
okay,
yes,
okay,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So even I mean again,
But let me get this disparity right. 36% was what the farmers were earning before,
yes,
and
36%
6% now
of the value, if you
of
of
the
the
sale
value
value.
of the sale value of the value of the chocolate bar was what the farmer earned.
And now they're earning
6%.
okay.
Six. So out of a value of 100%, or if you say a chocolate bar is worth, and chocolate bar could be worth anything from 20 cedis to 15 cedis to some bars selling at 35 cedis. The farmer earns 6% of that only. The 94 goes elsewhere. So in effect, that's why I'm sure you've heard the finance minister say, and they say Ghana and Ivory Coast.
But one of the reasons for partnering with Ivory Coast was to improve the living income differential, right?
Yes, the LED or the lid is a way in which really we're asking the chocolate majors, and that's the big players, because incidentally again, when you look historically, cocoa is the major ingredient for the chocolate industry. Of course, there are other things that are made from cocoa, the pharmaceutical industry, etc. But
So the
cocoa.
point is, the farmer is still not doing as well as he should be.
No, the farmer is not doing any well at all. The farmer is actually a slave, if let me put it bluntly. I mean, cocoa is, in the way that it was designed, it is actually modern slavery. And it is just that our farms have become almost like the slave yards for the production for the multinationals. That's what it is. I mean, if we'll be brutally honest. But just back to historically again, the reality was that I was talking about the boycott. That the boycott, eventually, the outcome of the boycott was that the governor introduced a commission to investigate the reasons for the boycott, and that led to the formation of Cocoa Marketing Board, which is CMB, which was in 1948. And so the Cocoa Marketing Board, as it was set up, was not, it was set up for British interests to export cocoa at a price control interest to British industry.
So as we look at it now, we need to be making changes that ensure it's more relevant to our
exactly. Now I just want to go back historically again. There's a very interesting organization called the Federation of Cocoa Commerce, FCC, which was set up in 1929. Now they are the ones that really control the cocoa trade and shipping, etc., etc. They are quietly hiding behind the scenes. Now, to be able to, and talking about Ghana in particular, and this is where policy comes in, you cannot buy cocoa just openly from any farmer on the market. No, you can't. Because Cocoa Board has a policy which says that the minimum cocoa trade that you can trade in is 50 metric tons.
So you
that is a load of cocoa. Now, incidentally, to be able to do 50 metric tons as a minimum, you should be registered with the Federation of Cocoa Commerce. So you see how it works. So anybody who is interested in Ghana cocoa has to do a minimum trade of 50 metric tons and has to be registered with the FCC, which is affiliated with another French organization in London. So now you see how, and that is for buying cocoa from Cocoa Board a certain minimum number.
So it just means it restricts you from trading in cocoa on your own.
You can't trade in cocoa beans on your own. But nothing stops you from processing your own exactly cocoa. But the thing is that because cocoa farming is so labor intensive and whatever, we have smallholder farmers who have just a very small amount and whatever it is. Exactly.
Your produce is small.
So exactly. But people, so that's where the cooperatives come in. But to process cocoa properly,
That's a relatively more open area.
That's a relative, but no, it's not relatively more open. It's closed because the machinery to process cocoa is expensive. Two, you have not created an internal market for consumption.
Okay.
So when you process it, where do you?
I think as part of the agreements with Abidjan, one of the agreements was to improve consumption locally.
Yes, but
I was actually in that room on
exactly,
the day
but you can talk and talk and talk. I mean, if your basis for improving consumption is chocolate, which is a foreign product to you, how do you improve consumption when your basis for measurement of improving consumption is a bar of chocolate? The Swiss do, the Swiss who make the chocolate, and chocolate is a temperate product. It's not our product. The Swiss that make.
In what ways can we improve the consumption?
I think it's very simple. Cosmetics.
More
I think exactly. We talked a bit about that.
Yes, we have to.
Biofuel, and cocoa is a biofuel. Cocoa is used for energy. Cocoa is used for many other things. You can use cocoa for alcohol. You can actually use cocoa to make sugar, the sweet pulp around it. You know, so there are so many things that we can do, but we are not doing.
Increasing the use locally.
Yeah, increasing the use, diversifying the use locally. We've come up with our Cocoa Crunch. And again, important that we emphasize the health benefits. Ghanaians, we like, and Africans, we like herbal products. We like, and the honest truth is that cocoa, when you use natural, is the really super best health, vegetarian, whatever product that we can have. So it is about diversifying the use. It's about looking at different things that you can locally use it for. And incidentally, I think it's also about growing less of it. Because when you grow more, what do? You exactly, you increase the what is so
the supply
exactly
and the
exactly I'm really,
but presently we don't even have much. It's not like production is increasing.
No, production has increased. Production has increased, and in fact production has increased. We did 1.7 million tons last year. Production has increased.
Let me pause you here a little bit and make my viewers understand. You're watching Spotlight. We're discussing cocoa production in Ghana. We focus on a local cocoa producing company that also adds value to the cocoa and makes a vast array of products. It's called Ohene Cocoa. We're speaking to the owner here, Nana Edwina II. He is taking us through a lot of history that is older than me. And he's also exposing us to some interesting challenges that the cocoa sector is facing, especially the farmers. We're going to go for a quick break, and when we come back, I am going to keep talking to Nana to understand more, especially someone was asking about the production costs. What goes into producing this? What are the overhead costs? How can young people involve themselves in cocoa production? So please, you want to stay with us. We'll be right back.
Ghana Cocoa Board, Ghana Tourism Authority and partners present the National Chocolate Week 2022. There'll be a full week of exciting activities to celebrate the growth and consumption of the quality of Ghana's chocolate industry. On Tuesday, the 8th of February, live performances from Kofi Kinata, Kwabna and other exciting acts. The Chocolate City runs from the 8th to the 14th of February and plays host to some amazing events, from a poetry night on Wednesday to an old school night and cook-off competition between various vocational schools on Thursday, through to the live band night on Friday. We take things up a notch on Saturday with the Chocolate City Family Day Out and a DJ-led evening rave in Accra and Kumasi. On Sunday the 13th, it'll be the health talk on the nutritional benefits of cocoa. On Monday the 14th, we close the curtain with a final concert. Join in the National Chocolate Week from the 4th to the 14th of February 2022, and make sure that you visit the Chocolate City in Accra at Tetekwashi Circle and Kumasi at the Jubilee Park.
Hey guys, it's another Tuesday. You know how we do it. This is Tech Today with your boy Eddie Kumsen. You know how we do it. Is that time?
Yes, says Apple doesn't need to be pressured to follow the trends, because I mean, Apple is Apple.
Apps run better on iOS devices than they ever run on Android.
So coding is an integral part of tech, but there are so many fields in tech as well. So
it has a car system where you can monetize and change any configuration that you want.
I'm here to give you the latest trends, the rumors and the leaks in the world of tech.
Welcome back to Spotlight. My name is Nong Falong. We're still discussing cocoa production domestically and how to improve cocoa production in a way that brings value to both the farmer and the economy. Nana,
Yes.
welcome back.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for sitting with us. I'm still enjoying my cocoa tea, which is made from cocoa husk.
Yes.
Yes? Okay, very nice. When we went on the break, I was telling you, how can young people involve themselves in cocoa production? But first, how expensive is it to go into this kind of business?
I think it's expensive because you have to have the land to grow the cocoa first.
Can't I buy from?
It's very interesting when people say they can buy cocoa land, unless you are buying it for galamsey. Because you are really buying people's livelihoods.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of
Because you just mentioned also that there's a limit, a base quantity to trading.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so you have to be willing to buy that much.
No, then that much is really, you're talking about 100 acres or 150 acres. That's a lot of land. But anyway, I was saying that
So first you need the farms.
first you need the farms,
Or
and
can
then
you partner with farmers?
you can partner. Nothing stops anyone from partnering with farmers. It's just that for some reason Ghanaians, we don't like to collaborate and work together. It's unfortunate, but we don't. Okay, now we're talking about cost of production. So it is expensive to grow cocoa. It's very capital intensive. I mean, it's
How
you need
expensive? I want to know if my pocket is enough.
labor is expensive in
Okay.
Ghana right now. You know the simple reason why.
No.
When you go to the villages right now, they prefer to be sitting down parked riding Okada and doing other things than
So
actually
there are other activities that are
exactly.
competing with the
But
production.
apart from that, there again, when you know the value of a bag of cocoa and you know what it takes to grow it, really, that's why the youth are not going into.
Banana, you see, when you say the other activities competing with the production of cocoa, it's about rewards, right? If I'm going to get, I know that I'll earn a decent living from producing cocoa. I'll do that.
Yes, but
if I
you
know
don't
that
earn. But
that's the
sorry,
point.
yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
it's-
This is the whole point, that cocoa farming, as it is right
It's
now,
not-
it's not attractive. I mean, just look at everybody says poor farmers and whatever. So
farmers who continue
exactly,
to get poor.
exactly. So I always ask myself this question again: how come we can have an industrial policy in Ghana, one district, one factory, of which the foundation is not our most valuable, abundant raw material? It doesn't make sense. So, if anything, if we really wanted to create that wealth and jobs, the base for our industrial policy should be cocoa, which is our most abundant raw material, which we have. Okay, so it's expensive to grow cocoa. Now, the honest truth is that Ghana cocoa worldwide is premium cocoa. So, because of that, we stop thinking at the point of, oh, the beans have whatever, and then we just ship them, and then we go and incidentally we have this syndicated loan where
So we're looking at having to put value on what we are producing before we ship it.
but we're not doing that.
Okay.
We're not doing that. Even incidentally, again, that's what gets even more painful. The cocoa that we say we own, we go and borrow 1 point whatever billion, and we've heard about the syndicated. We go and borrow every year to pay for something that we own ourselves, to go and give it to someone to then mark up and buy it from us, and we borrow the money to pay for it. Then the person turns around and makes 120, 140 billion from, because the value of the industry is exactly, you've heard those figures. So
they've added value. So
exactly. Now then you asking yourself the hard questions. Now the point again back to, because your target audience for your station is the youth, and it's important to start creating awareness, wealth, and jobs for the youth. You know, how do you attract the Instagram generation, exactly to cocoa production? And we're not talking cocoa farming, cocoa production. There are various aspects. There's cocoa futures, there's cocoa trading, there's making chocolate, there's making soap, but people have to start seeing the opportunity and the value in these things. And two, the policies and whatever have to be such that the raw material and the opportunities and the funding from the banks and whatever are available. Now, if you set it up that way, then somebody coming out from Ashesi or from University of Ghana or from Takwa School of Mines or whatever will go into, exactly. I mean, earlier on we were talking about cosmetics and soap and whatever. I mean, why are we still importing L'Oreal and all those things into this, when we have the natural stuff that is best for our skin? And you know, sometimes I have a chat with my Christian friends and whatever, and I say, or my more Pentecostal friends, and I'll say, but God is not so mean that whatever you need, He's giving you in your environment, and He's actually giving you such that it is suitable for your skin, is suitable. So why are we now going somewhere to go and import what somebody else has done? So the point I'm making is there's so much opportunity to do things and do things very differently. It's hard work, but when you look at the effort that it's taken to get to where we are, and incidentally we've been doing this for about 3 years now, and we've already been looking at product development, we're looking at packaging, we're looking at, I mean, the concept of bringing things together, FDA registration, all these things. Now we're looking at potential export markets. You asked about outlets earlier on.
Are you able to export?
Yes, we're able to export. We have a relationship with the Ghana Export Promotional Authority. We've got a few clients in the US and South Africa. Yes, so we're able to export. But to get export ready, the barriers, or not the barriers, the what you have to satisfy in terms of the requirements, it's quite there's a lot of paperwork, there's a lot of quality standards that you have to meet, and you have to then be able to consistently maintain those. So all that is a job creation, value chain, local production, etc. Now, if we even just, and of course we're talking about Valentine's, so let's focus on love and the language of whatever. But the honest truth is that I had it would be sad to bash a brand, but I had an imported chocolate from Turkey, you know, and the presentation and the price of whatever is 15 cedis. How do you, for 100 grams, how do you compete when incidentally we have gone to give them the the chocolate and they've added all kinds of they added all kinds of additives which are not necessarily healthy, etc. But the point is, again, we're talking about benchmark values. We're talking about do we maintain them such that imports become cheaper, or rather we create wealth or jobs through production, etc. So these are hard questions that we have to ask ourselves. But I mean, when it comes to the cocoa industry, look, we've got the history, we've got the experience, we've got the exposure, and in addition to that, we've got the quality product. Ghana, I'm sorry that our black stars are not doing that well, but when you go out of this country, what do they ask you about? It's two things: football and cocoa. Those two things. Gold. Well, gold to a certain extent, but I mean, since we sold Ashanti and all that, they don't really. But the two things that were football and cocoa. Now, if we are not able to, or it's sad that we are not able to have developed our value addition industry to the extent that cocoa products, chocolate included, are widely spread around the place. And unfortunately, the honest truth is that cocoa will never, or chocolate will never be a cheap, affordable product. That's for that one. Let's take it out of our, because again, the horse has bolted already. The thing is made in Switzerland.
I watched a documentary where some cocoa farmers were saying they had never tasted cocoa before.
Yes,
chocolate.
yes,
never
yes,
tasted
yes,
chocolate.
yes.
It's so sad.
Yes.
Some people said they had tasted it before, but like 10 years
Yes,
ago,
yes,
5
yes,
years
yes,
ago. Strange. Nana, I understand you've received some awards.
Yes.
For your produce. What awards have you received?
Incidentally, also we are into cocoa ecotourism, and cocoa ecotourism means that visitors can actually come and see what we do on our farm, how we
So
grow our farm. Exactly, and then see, experience it. It's a whole leisure day. Plus, we have opportunities to have all kinds of team building activities on some aspects of the farm, which are very beautiful. So that's one product. We got an award for cocoa ecotourism, I think was it 2 years ago. We've also got an award for an artisanal processing company. I think that was also 2 years ago through the Ghana Cocoa Award. So we've got a few awards. But really the sky is the limit really with respect to cocoa. And again, we're in the season of love. We shouldn't, for whatever reason, chocolates have been linked to this love. Yes, but I think that beyond chocolates and including chocolates, there's just the passion of the energy that cocoa brings, the healthy aspect of it, and good erections, good love, good whatever of cocoa. And we should actually be promoting those and the use of it.
Of cocoa.
Yes.
I hear you so much. Do you have any closing remarks for our people?
What I can say is that it's been a challenge, but we should take, especially for the younger folk, there's a lot of income to be earned in the cocoa space, but it's also a lot of hard work.
When you say a lot of income, I mean if they come and join you in business, will they be able to take care of their families?
Well, if they come and if they create their own business, because the honest truth is that in Ghana, when you trace everybody's background somewhere, there's some cocoa farming somewhere, whether as a tenant farmer, whether as a landlord. So the opportunities are there. We've just allowed these opportunities,
take advantage of the opportunities and modernize it for yourself.
Yes.
More importantly, add value.
Value, yes.
So you can get value out of it.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So you heard from Nana Eduna. Create the opportunities. Take advantage of the opportunities that are available. Improve upon the product, and ensure that you're getting what you should be getting out of it. What you put in is what you get, essentially. If you're watching us, we hope that you have a very beautiful month of love and you're able to buy made in Ghana products that will grow Ghana. Thank you so much for watching Spotlight. My name is Nuong Falong. Bye-bye.
Hey guys, it's another Tuesday. You know how we do it. This is Tech Today with your boy Eddie Kumsen. You know how we do it. Is that time?
When says Apple doesn't need to be pressured to follow the trends, because I mean Apple is Apple.
Apps run better on iOS devices than ever right on Android.
So coding is an integral part of tech, but there are so many fields in tech as well. So
It has a car system where you can monetize and change any configuration that you want.
I'm here to give you the latest trends, the rumors and the leaks in the world of tech.